Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Geoguessr. We're doing a balance world today. It's a map by Debray, 3-minute time limit, and I think Debray's fucking with us because we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. Now we're going to do our best to try to figure out where we are, when we are, and how we are, but the odds of us finding out all three probably slim to none. Feels like Southeast Asia. Definitely feels like Southeast Asia. We do have yellow plates. It's definitely not Japan. That's Spanish. Aqui? No, that's Aqua. Is this French? If it's French... What the fuck is going on? Debray? Debray? Really? We're in Colombia? I didn't see that happening. I was convinced that it wasn't going to be South America. At first I was like, oh yeah, that's Spanish. And then I was like, oh wait, no it's not. And now it's definitely Spanish. But we're going to do our best to try and figure out exactly where in Colombia we are. It makes sense for the yellow plates. I don't think it makes sense for anything else. But we're going to do our best. Hopefully we're able to find a town name or something along those lines. We do have a gravel road, so we really are in the middle of nowhere, which is the epitome of a balanced world. Debray likes to stick us in a bunch of these locations that we call Debray locations. There is a reason we have an emote of Debray. Back when he was the president of China, his emote, well, his icon, with devil horns and laser eyes and fire all around, because Debray just wants to watch the world fucking burn. But let's try and figure out where in Colombia we are. Maybe we could find a village name, but it's almost impossible for us to find that village on a map. We're going to have to go off of the flats, which I think are more north. Because if we return to start, we were kind of on a gravel flat. We do have some hills. From what I saw early on, it didn't seem like we had any mountains around us. So we need a flatter part of the country. We do know the further south you go, the more windy and hilly it gets. So maybe guessing further north does work. I just realized we still have the streak and repeat counter on, which is essentially telling us the country streak counter, but it goes to the degree of provinces. So it's currently set for Canada. I don't know if that's going to matter. We might have to turn it off in between rounds, but that's literally a small little hiccup in otherwise normal day of Geoguessr. We didn't find shit, we're guessing, fuck it. It does end up being further south. Yeah, the streak counter doesn't work. Let's go turn that off real fast. And we are back and that counter is now off. This does feel like it could be, however, Canada, which is what that streak counter was set for. There's also an opportunity. It is the United States, and that right there is what tells us it is in fact the United States. Miles per fucking hour. Now we're going to do our best to now try to find out where we are. It does feel like the southwest. I think that was a lack of a front plate. So let's check out the back plate, which isn't too helpful either. Looks like your typical white plate. And we do have a white front plate. So we do now have a pretty good idea of... is that blue? If that's blue, we're fucked. Because the blue would be South Dakota, Illinois, or Connecticut. And there's way too many trees for this to be South Dakota. The Continental Deli and Grill, Lake Kiowa, North Texas Family Medicine. So, I guess it wasn't blue. Can we find Lake Kiowa? That's Lake Meredith. Lake Kiowa. The Canadian River and a reservoir. Lake Kyoto? Conscious Lake. Lake Kyoto? Santa Rosa. It says North Texas. I don't know where North Texas actually begins. Lake Kemp, Santa Rosa, Lake Diversion. What are you trying to diverge? What's the diversion here? Lake Wichita, Horseshoe Bend, Deer Creek. I don't know what the fuck we are. Lake Graham, Lake Edelman, Newcastle and Whiskey Creek, Elbert, Keeter Lake, we're fucked. We know we're in North Texas. We'll go to Seymour by Wichita Falls. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, fuck it, Lubbock. But we know we're in Texas. That's always a good sign. Gas is pretty expensive. Gas is definitely a lot cheaper. Bar 902, so we're probably on Texas Road 902. So even if we didn't find that thing that said North Texas right there, we would have found something else. There's the state flag of Texas. So yeah, we would have been able to figure out this was Texas. We do get into nice Gen 1 that then automatically teleports us out. A 940 I'm not too familiar with. I wish I was. Lake Kiowa. Again, we're finding Lake Kiowa everywhere. But we weren't able to find it on the minute and a half that we looked. Serving the Lake Kiowa, so that's literally where we are. Lake Kiowa. Can we find it real quick? 8 seconds. Littlefield, Level End, Brownfield, Seagrieve, Seminole, Ackery, Big Spring. No. So we have to hope we have a decent guess. There's Lakeview. Ends up being pretty much straight east. Here's Lake Kiowa. How did we miss this one lake? I'm not sure. We did look around this area. I don't think, actually, we probably looked over here. We didn't go too far east. So that was our problem. Canada? No. These telephone poles, we've seen these before. Senegal? Is this Senegal? There's no way. There's no fucking way. I think there's poles like this in Senegal. The road doesn't match. The lack of rifts obviously tells us we're not in Senegal. Unless... There's no way. We do have a lake to our north. Kind of feels Eastern Europe. I think it's the trees lining the road that lead me towards the Ukraine or Poland. We don't have red car, so it's not the Ukraine. But I feel like we've seen trees like this before. We're going to look for language. Language obviously being the best friend of any Geoguessr player, as long as you're able to kind of differentiate between languages. We've gotten so much better from when we first started, but we're not quite there. Definitely feels Eastern Europe. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a weird Russia. We do have blue. And now we have these telephone poles, which are Romania, Hungarian, and Poland. Can we find language, though? I hope so. That's actually... Is that an osprey nest? Which makes sense for being near bodies of water. First look at language is not Polish. It should be Romania. And with a body of water like that, it could be the Black Sea. Or it could be, I don't know, a weird spot. It could be a weird fucking spot. We'll look for a town name. Hopefully we'll get lucky. But we're starting off fucking weird. Konstantka. I don't know if that means anything. Can we find anything that's helpful? Probably not. We're gonna struggle all throughout the day, and that's fine. It happens. You have good days and bad days. Sometimes Deborah, again, just wants to watch the world burn and gives us locations like these in the middle of nowhere. And it's all Deborah's fault. I don't care if the seed is generated by an AI. It's Deborah's fault for putting this location in the map. Oh, we can return to start. It doesn't fucking matter at this point. It's definitely a lake. It's definitely a lake. This is part of the Ukraine. This actually fits. Kind of. That's scary. Although, maybe we're over here more. Alongside this body of water. Yeah, it ends up being further south near this body of water. Here's the random road that cuts through it. That was the Lukal Bagokuli? Well, shit. We have the Uganda car. So, we really don't have to play here because Uganda doesn't have a lot of coverage. We're gonna try and find out where we are. We should be near Kampala, but we're probably not gonna find anything that's gonna help us. The lack of street signs is gonna probably frustrate us. Actually, this is a pretty big town. The Kenjoy Supermarket. Exquisite fiberglass. Duranest cane indoor and outdoor furniture. Amazing. Amazing. We are at the Geoguessr Children's Clinic. Never heard of it. And we have the immunizations, so get vaccines. Maybe there's something here. Neptune. Proposed construction in the Nakawa district. So we need to find Nakawa inside of Kampala. Here's Nakawa. And then it's Bukoto is the name of the road we are on. That's what we're currently on. So, again, the odds of us finding the street name on here, slim to none. We also have Kampala again. So, since we know we're in Nakawa, and we know we're on Bukoto, or the road of Bukoto, we could probably guess where we are. If we return to start, there's nothing really around us. There should be a street sign here, but we don't really see it. So, honestly, we can kind of just guess Nakawa, the Nakawa region, and save ourselves a minute and a half. And it ends up being a little bit further to the north. We ended up on Kira Road, and we were on Naguru East Road. Neither of which were on that sign that we saw, so I'm not surprised. Over by Bukoto, so maybe we should have paid attention to Bukoto instead of Nakawa. Norway, Sweden. Maybe a Finland. It is Gen 2 coverage. It's definitely a Nordic country. And since it's Debre location, that's not either of those two. That's Canada. We're in fucking Canada. Bait location. Clear example of a bait location. Gen 2 Canadian coverage. Dirt Road, Yukon, British Columbia. We might get lucky and find something. I really doubt it. We're along a river. Maybe we'll find something that points us to Whitehorse. Maybe we'll find something that points us to Thunder Bay. But at this point, we're kind of at the whim of whether or not this Canada location wants to give itself up. And I'm going to say it probably doesn't. Maybe we can just get a lucky guessing. But Gen 2 in Canada seems to be the further north you go. So it might be smart to guess the north of the country here. Might be. The dirt roads look sketchy. A slot area? Why would you caution people about that? I don't know. I would probably freak the fuck out driving alongside a road that doesn't have a guardrail next to a river. I'm a good driver. But this is a dirt road. You could slip on a fucking dirt road. You can be driving fine and just fuck up. Ross River, 2 kilometers. I think Ross River is British Columbia, if I remember it correctly. It should be north. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we are over here. Can we find it in... I don't even think we can. Oh, we did. Ross River. Alright, that is 2 kilometers to our north, so we are south. We are along the Pelly River, I'm guessing. Although it looks like we might be along this river. Are we heading? Yeah, we're heading north. We're heading north. What the fuck? What the fuck? Alright. When we return to start, we are heading south. So we should be over here more. Water to our east makes sense. Probably around this area. Maybe a little bit further south. And we almost got the perfect score. We do end up winning off of this. It does end up being a little bit further south. That was good. That was a good find. Good find. 22,358. We beat Bo by 360 points. Good game, Bo. Very good game. Very close overall. GG. Each handling third at 19,710. Going with Alaska instead of the Yukon. And then Scribbles in fourth at 1782. Also going with Alberta instead of the Yukon. I think the Yukon Gen 2 is why we kind of started looking there, even though we said we weren't going to look there. But overall, not too bad. Thank you all so much for being here. A little bit of a shorter episode because we didn't want to spend all the time in Uganda for, what, 9 points? So, if you get Uganda, guess Kampala. It works every time. But until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. And bye-bye.